big thing we've tried to do all summer here is have some competitions. We try to make sure every position there's a kid competing against somebody else. I think that's the way you're going to get better, and it also forces us a situation if we ever want to get into a one platoon football system where we're playing one, or maybe even just let some of these guys from playing both ways the whole time, just have them on one side of the ball. That's the way to do it, because then when you compete, somebody's obviously going to win it. Second guy is just going to be as good, and then hopefully you could put that other guy someplace else. And the biggest goal we're trying to get to is where we're only playing maybe 3-4 guys both ways.
You graduated your top 2 rushers from a year ago, but there's always depth at that back position for you guys. How are the guys that are stepping up, taking on a bigger role this year, looking so far?
Yeah, it's sort of like what Coach Carter said. It's an opportunity for these guys right now. They're gone. There's nothing we can do about it. We're going to miss them, but this is what football's about, next man up, and now it's their chance to get the yards. They know the offense. We've been assisting them out for 4 years, so they've been doing a real good job this offseason. It's hard to say who's going to get those positions right now because it's early, but right now we are going to have some depth at our running back positions. It's going to matter who's going to when we start hitting here, who's going to be able to play and who's not going to be able to play and who's going to be able. We're looking for guys who got some endurance, some perseverance, and take some punishment, because if you're going to run the ball, you can't have a guy that's playing 1 week, he's out the next week. They got to be able to take the hits and keep going.
Who are those guys to watch in the backfield?
Well, I think right now you got Josh Bruin, you got Sebastian Seifring. Those are seniors. Those are the guys that got the inside road, but you got some sophomores and you got some juniors behind them that can go get them. So it's going to be a competition. It's going to be a fight, and I think that's one position right now that we got a lot of depth at.
When you've got as much experience coming back up front, especially when you have such a run-dominated offense, what does that do for you guys?
Well, I think it just their technique, their ability to understand the line of scrimmage, understand the physicality of the game. I think that helps with your experience, because you get out there, they know it's a 4-quarter game. It's a game of endurance. You're trying to make the other guy quit, and they've been through the battle, so they know that first quarter, second quarter, you're just doing the body blows, and then you're third and fourth quarter, you're looking for the knockout blow, and these guys know that this is what it's going to take.
Defensively, it seems like the strength is going to be up front as well. What's your take on
defensively? I think we got to work on all parts of the ball, because since 2011 our defense has drastically fallen off, and last year people ran for 3,000 yards on it, which is an indication you're pretty soft. And if we're going to do something this offseason, the postseason, we're going to do something in the tournament, it's going to have to do with our defense, because 2011 we knew what we were getting every week on defense. Last couple of years we'd play a week real good, next week let up 40-some points. Play a week real good, let up 30-some points. We got to get some consistency on defense, and that's on all fronts, from linebacker, defensive line, defensive backs. Right now it's one area I can't tell you who's really going to start and who's going to play, but it's a unit that if we're going to do anything, has got to find improvement. We got to get those scores down in the teens and give us a chance, because what we do on offense, if we can get a lead and ground down you a little bit, run that clock off, we're in a pretty good position. But you can't do that when you're letting up 30, 40 points a game.
5 and 6 a year ago. How do you guys improve on that mark? How do you guys make a deeper run into the postseason here in 2014?
You got to win your second round game. We didn't do that last year, and there was a couple games in the regular season we should have won. So you're always looking to improve, and the biggest thing now is just going to be injuries and coming through. You're in a big conference here, and with the new concussion rules, you got to build some depth here, because anymore those kids are out for 2 weeks. You can't say the kid's going to be back on a Friday, so you got to really work with those kids and make sure you got solid 2s and a pretty decent 3 in there. And a lot of it's going to depend, how you hit this postseason. Are you going to be healthy or not healthy? That's the biggest key, and those are things you can't control. All you got to do is coach around that and have kids ready.
Do you feel like you guys are close? As you said, there were some games that could have gone in your favor last year. Do you feel like you guys are pretty close right now?
Oh, yeah. You talk a few of those games there. We could have turned the corner. Could have been a lot different there. And, we could have easily had a winning record. And last year, that was probably the thing that was probably the made you the happiest. We came into that season, we were thinking if we could win 1 or 2 games, we'd be okay. And to win 5 and get some of the wins we did, and even the win in the postseason when you got Whitco, who was the conference champ, and beat them at their place, it said a lot about these kids. But last year's last year, and Every year you got to rebuild your team. There's different team chemistries. There's different dynamics on a team. And I think too many times fans, coaches, and players think, well, last year you were 5-6, we should improve. No, you won't. Because, I mean, look at the Houston Texans. They were a good team, went 2-14 last year. And so there's a lot of things you got to keep addressing. You got to keep stressing the fundamentals, and you just keep plugging away every day.